If you've been struggling with the connect board column feature in Monday.com and automating connecting two boards together, this video is for you. Let's get started. So first things first, what's a connect board? So if you click the plus sign here, you can look at all the different types of columns we have here. And one of them is going to be connect boards, or you could type in the search there. And when you do that, it's going to bring up a prompt here to select a board. So we're on this production demo board. And for this exercise, we're going to connect it to the finance board. So whenever we have a payment that's needed, we're going to connect it to the finance board. So click on the finance board here and then set as a two-way connection so that on both sides you can change and add connections and mirror data from both sides. So this used to be something that was absolutely imperative for most connections just because you couldn't reverse it, but now you can. And then they'll ask you here to create a mirror column. So what is a mirror column? It's going to literally take the data from one board and show it on the other board. So we'll say I'll do this later. So right now it's connected to the finance board, and you can see if you click on any one of these cells, it's going to enable you to actually connect to one of the items on the finance board. So I have vendor payments, which is the new one we're going to be adding, and we're going to make an automation that automatically makes this connection for us. All right, so we're now going to automate the connection of these two boards. So you're going to want to come up to the Automate Center and then click on Create here. And then we're going to create it from scratch. There are templates that we could use, but I want to do this one from scratch with you guys. So let's go to when status changes. And we're going to go to payments. So when the payment of this vendor design request happens, and then we're going to connect the board. So just type connect here to just make it a little bit quicker. And that's going to say then create an item in board and connect boards. So the first thing we're going to do is connect or find the board that we want to connect to, and finance is the board we're looking to connect to. And then you click connect boards, and now you're going to get three options. So you have both boards, source board, target board. So right now we want flexibility. So we want the connect board columns to show up on both boards. You, in theory, could have it just show up on the source board, which we're currently on, or just on the target board, which is the finance board. And then you have your options to select which source board and then which target board. So in our case, we're going to have the source board be where we're at now. And this is the column that we named it finance. And then on the other side, the connect board column was already created, and the name that was given is linked to production demo. So we can exit out of here. Now we need to map all of our columns from our source board, so our production demo board, to our finance board. So the first thing we're going to do is put the name. You can put whatever you want. Ideally, you'd want to have some dynamic value, probably dash something. So this is the name. So it's going to be like project 1, project 2, dash. We'll go with vendor payment. And then the person, we want it to be assigned to the person who is already, well, probably be the finance person. So we won't assign anybody. We'll just have that be an automation on the other board that would automatically assign it to that person. We could do a status. I think working on it probably makes the most sense here. Payment status, payment requested. The due date's going to be the same due date from the board we're currently on. And then the account owed would be the item's budget. And then link would be to that connect board column that we created. And the target group is going to be vendor payments. X out of here, create automation. So now if we exit out of here, if we go to project number 2, it's all done, and we'll do a request payment. And if you see in the bottom right corner, it'll say the automation's running any day now, Monday. Let me try that one more time. Request payment. There we go. Automation is running. Live bugs happening in the Monday system. And then you can see here that it ran twice. So the project has been connected on both sides. You can see the data from the finance board, shows it's working on it, payment requested, due date, amount owed, and it's connected. So if you click the little X here, you can actually delete the duplicate. If we go over to the finance board, you can see, yeah, here's the duplicates that were added. We'll just go ahead and delete this one. And then you can see that, all right, it's stuck in a loop right now. But yeah, it just added it to the board and made that two-way connection. Now that we have our production board connected to our finance board and we have an item connected, we can now mirror some of the data over. So if you go to the plus sign and go to mirror, you can now choose which board you want to connect to. So if you click connect here, you can choose finance. So it connects to this connect board column. And now you can choose any of the column data from the finance board to mirror over to this board. So I think the most likely thing that we want to have is just the payment status mirrored over. So we'll click payment status. It's on payment requested. We can rename this payment status. And then you can also update it both ways. So if I update it here to overdue, and then I go over to the finance board, as you can see, it also says overdue here. And then if I click paid and go back to the production demo board, it says paid. All right, so what if you already have a bunch of items, tasks, or projects on one board and you want to connect them to another board? So one typical use case is if you're migrating new data from another platform, you want to connect like leads or like contacts to deals, or you want to have projects synced up with other project boards. That's, kind of a headache to do that, one by one, having to come through here, select whichever project or contact it is and link them up. So how do you automatically do that? Well, you need a unique identifier. Typically, you can use like an email, for instance, or you have to have like a number. So, or if you have like similar names, that's probably the best way of going about it. Just for this example, we'll just create an email column and we'll make a couple of unique identifiers. So we'll just say like Charlie at crossflowpros.com. And then we'll just say Charlie at email.com. And then this will be used as our unique identifier column in the automation. So now if we go to the automation center and you go to create, there's templates for this. So if we type in connect, here are 2, 4, 6, 8 individual templates that can be used to match up your different boards and the columns in those boards and then connect them. There's a lot of different options. I would say that this one right here is the most commonly used one for me, but definitely there's all kinds of different use cases for the other ones as well. But for this demo, we're going to use this one. And the first thing we need to do is choose which one of the columns changes to trigger the actual column matching to connect the boards. It's kind of arbitrary just because we're going to toggle it on and off depending on when we need to use it. So I'm just saying when the status changes, connect the item whether this column matches another column in another board. So we need to choose the other board, which is going to be the finance board. And then the other column in the finance board is going to be an email column, which, whoops, we didn't make. So let's go back to the finance board, create an email column for that, and do the same thing as we did before, Charlie at processflowpros.com, and then Charlie at email.com. Go back to the production demo board, and then we're going to do the connect automation again. So like I said before, we're going to do the trigger it based off of the state, any status change. Then we're going to connect it to the finance board. And then we're going to have the email columns match with each other. And then connect with finance. So when any status change happens, you're going to connect the finance board item where the emails match on the finance board and the production board. So create automation. Sorry if that sounded a little bit confusing, but if you do these in the order I just showed you, it should work out just fine. So now if you click the any one of these. So like say we'll just do this one, change it to stuck. It's going to automatically link up the two items on both the boards that where these emails match. So looks like it's going a little bit slow today. And it's running. See, look, project 3 from the other board is here. We'll choose this one, working on it. And the automations are going a little bit slow again, but if we go to this side, you can see project 3 has been connected automatically, and the other one will as well. But you could imagine, right, if you had a whole bunch of them, you just click this and then just do a status change, and then it would automatically connect a whole bunch of them at one time. Monday has like that 500 selection limitation, but otherwise, that's pretty much it. So anyways, that is everything you need to know about how to create a connect board column and a mirror column and automatically connect them together. If you have anything that's a little bit more complicated or interested in learning more, feel free to reach out to me. All my information is in the description below, and thanks for watching.